Welcome back, everyone. You're looking at the White House because President Trump will be hosting a news conference at the top of the hour, laying out his plan for cleaning up Washington, D.C., specifically cleaning up when it comes to crime and homelessness. We're hearing that some FBI agents have already been deployed onto the streets of the nation's capital, and there's the potential that some military assets, specifically with the National Guard, could be deployed to the streets of Washington, D.C. as well. We'll have live coverage here on Real America's Voice the moment the president takes the podium. In the meantime, we're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. I can tell you that so far, so good. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are up in pre-market trading. That's a good sign for those of you who will be investing on any of those indices. We'll take you there to New York and the New York Stock Exchange for the opening bell here in short order. But first, let's get you back over to David. Good morning.
By the way, I've got the latest Nancy Pelosi picks for today. Here they are, everybody. No, I don't have those yet. All right, those will come in later. Time for our daily dose of dollars and common sense. We have American Sunrise Early Edition host and the guy behind the Jake's Takes Substack. That would be Jake Novak. Jake, we'll get to Pelosi in a second because I know you got some stuff to say about that. But China is out with an accusation right now that sounds too ridiculous to acknowledge. But apparently Wall Street kind of has to respond to this. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is incredible. China, which has been ripping off everyone's intellectual property, especially ours here in the United States for years, has come out with a clear distraction projection statement this morning or overnight saying they're not so sure they can allow Nvidia's H20 new AI chips sold in the country because, get this, those chips might be used to spy on the Chinese government.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Honestly, what a joke. In fact, those chips going into China were much more of a concern for us, that China would steal the technology from those chips, and they had to make a deal with President Trump just now to give 15% of all the revenues of those sales back to the U.S. government as a way so the government has a little bit more money to be able to enforce and make sure our secrets aren't sold. I mean, this is a classic accuse your opponents of what you're doing to them and say that they're doing the same thing. It's so nauseating to hear this, but there's actual people, there must be people in China, big country, there's probably people who believe this. What a crock.
A crock and a pot calling the kettle black, too, by the way. All right, that'd be a crock pot, by the way. But anyhow, that's a separate issue. All right, Jake, there's one fashion craze that's getting hit hard by investors right about now. So tell us about it. And by the way, please don't tell me this is the bell-bottom gold lane pants that I do wear regularly. I may even be wearing them now, but I can't confirm or deny, Jake.
You are safe, David. But speaking of Crocs, it's Crocs that is the fashion statement. Listen, I don't know about you. I don't mind seeing Crocs on kids. But when I see Crocs on adult men in the winter or any other time of the year, it rubs me the wrong way. I can't say it. So Crocs have been really, really having a harder time over the past year. Their shares are down 42% for the year. They took a big hit on Thursday, and they're going to try to blame the tariffs. They're going to try, but like electric vehicles, the demand for Crocs has been going down. I hope demand among men 50 and older is going down. I mean, I just cannot stand seeing that on adult men. I'm sorry, that is certainly my bias there. But anyway, Crocs is in trouble. They're going to try to blame the tariffs and look for other companies that are losing their popularity to try to blame tariffs as a way to excuse themselves. But I think Crocs overstepped. It should have been just for kids. Please keep it at the kids.
Yes, please. And it's usually liberal men, let's be honest. And I hope that when President Trump comes out at 10 a.m., that he actually bans inside Washington, D.C., Crocs and skinny jeans. I don't think there's any question about that. All right. Jake, we mentioned this earlier. Let's talk about Nancy Pelosi. Obviously, she's got some issues. She's got a lot of money also about everything going on with her stock. So apparently you got these incredible run of good investments that she's had, but how can we get in on this, Jake? Come on, Jake. Give us the I don't want to call it the insider trading tip of the day, but please give us some sort of tip.
I mean, David, you were telling viewers in the last segment to go follow something on X. I mean, I got something much easier for you. There is an ETF, an exchange-traded fund that you can invest in that absolutely tracks as close to as in real time as they can Nancy Pelosi's investments. Its ticker symbol is NANC. It's run by the folks at Unusual Whales, who also, by the way, have an X account that looks into all this kind of stuff. But it is up 11% so far this year, and it closed, David, at a 52-week high on Friday. I think that's why President Trump chose this weekend to take a shot at Nancy and Paul Pelosi. That's not a coincidence, at least in my opinion. And by the way, you can all do it that way. Now, listen, they're up 11% for the year. That's compared to the Dow. That's only up 3% for the year. So they're doing pretty well. And again, you don't even have to bother to follow it. They'll do it for you.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi. God bless her. She's just making Americans' lives so much better. All right. Thanks, T. Thanks. I called you T. Thanks, Jay. J and T. All right. Sounds like a road show. Time for T-Bates in Denver, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
NANC. Okay, I'm going to see if this might work. By the way, I feel a little attacked over the whole Crocs thing. I actually wear Crocs under my suit sometimes. I do wear Crocs, and they're comfortable to me. Anyway, we're getting ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. You hear the applause, which means the bell is going to ring here in short order. And then we'll get a better idea. Excuse me. Then we'll get a better idea of how the markets are looking. So you hear the bell there. That means the markets are now officially open, and let's see how things are looking. Our board generally looking pretty good. The S&P 500, as you can see, the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones are all up right now. There's really only one blemish on our screen. So trading, or this day of trading, this first day of trading of the week, starting off on a pretty good note. If you're going to be investing, hopefully all works well. And if you're going to be investing in that ETF, as you just heard, that tracks some of Nancy Pelosi's investments, hopefully that works out for you as well. So here's a question for you. Is the continued divide between Trump and the Federal Reserve putting us behind the curve yet again? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time? Or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown? And what does all of this ultimately mean for your savings? Well, you may want to consider diversifying into gold through the Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. The Birch Gold Group makes it incredibly easy, though, for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or an old 401k, you can convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or you can just buy some gold outright and keep it in your safe at home. First, get educated, though. The Birch Gold Group will send you a free information kit on gold. All you have to do is text the word America to the number 989898. Again, just text the word America to the number 989898. Consider diversifying a portion of your savings into gold. That way, if the Fed can't stay ahead of the curve for the country, at least you can stay ahead for yourself. Up next here on American Sunrise, Lone Star State Democrats are anywhere but deep in the heart of Texas as they're still on the run after stalling a redistricting vote. We've got the latest on their whereabouts and how much trouble they're in. That's next as American Sunrise continues.